Welcome back. Iowa Senator Joni Ernst creating the new Senate DOGE caucus. Ernst, who will also chair that caucus, sending a letter to the heads of the Department of Government Efficiency, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, with her own proposals on how to cut $2 trillion in wasteful spending. The senator discussing her plan with President-elect Trump, Elon Musk, and Howard Lutnick at Mar-a-Lago over the weekend. Joining me now is the woman herself, Iowa Senator Joni Ernst, the chairwoman of the Senate DOGE caucus, a member of the Senate Armed Services and Agricultural Committees, and the ranking member of the Senate Small Business Committee. Senator, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, it's great to be with you. Thank you very much, Maria.
We've heard a lot about Vivek and Elon's plans to cut $2 trillion out of the budget, and you've got your own plan. What do you see as the low-hanging fruit in terms of government waste?
Well, oh, Maria, there is so much low-hanging fruit. And I have been working on this the past decade in the United States Senate with my squeal team. I went to Washington, D.C. to make them squeal. So there is a lot of low-hanging fruit, and we can simply start with a lot of the underutilized and vacant government buildings that we have. Now, there's a lot of folks that telework. If we're not going to use those buildings, we need to get rid of them. The maintenance is overwhelming at a cost of about $8 billion a year, and the leases on those buildings as well, close to $8 billion a year. So we can start right there. If you look at the NIH and a lot of the experimentation that is done there, things like finding out how fast shrimp can run on treadmills. All of this we have documented through the years, and this is the low-hanging fruit that we can hand right over to Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk. So had those discussions this previous weekend at Mar-a-Lago with Vivek, Elon, President Trump, and Howard Lutnick, and they agree. There's a lot right there that we can do immediately on day one.
Senator, how does that happen? I mean, how does it get past that, you know, watching shrimp on a treadmill can actually get in and get money as part of the budget?
Right. Well, I've been through this many, many times where we're passing these overwhelming omnibus packages with all kinds of pork shoved into those packages. And of course, things like this get hidden in there. Now, we as the federal government, we hand off the money to these institutions and agencies, expecting that they will have the proper oversight and make sure that the work that's being done is for the benefit of the American people. But certainly through the years, we haven't seen that. There's so much pork within these packages that it does go to fund things like shrimp on a treadmill, funding projects like our pampered cats. Are they doing their business in a litter box or out of a litter box?
Yeah.
We don't need to fund this. It is ridiculous, Maria.
So do you all use this as a negotiating tool? You know that you need one of your colleagues' vote on a bigger, more substantive issue in government, but that person has their own pet peeve project, and you know, that project is about, you know, like you say, shrimp on a treadmill, and you have to say, all right, well, we'll give money to that because we need your vote for that. Is that how it works?
Well, so that has happened in the past with a number of negotiations, but I'll be honest, a lot of members of Congress don't understand that while they think that great scientific work will be done at these institutions, honestly, it trickles down to these ridiculous projects. We don't need to fund that anymore. We've got infrastructure projects like in California, their gravy train out there. It is at a cost. We've got a number of train projects actually in California that don't benefit most of the taxpayers there at a cost of $1 billion per mile.
Yeah.
And it is yet a decade out from completion. So we need to scratch these projects and focus on the benefit of all good for the American people.
And one thing that keeps coming up are these government contractors. You've got outside companies that have contracts with government, and many of these companies, they rely on those government contracts for their earnings and revenue expectations. I know we looked at the leading top 10 government contractors. It's largely defense companies and healthcare companies. How likely is it that some of the government contracts of some of the leading contractors out there will be canceled? How are you going to make that decision?
Well, Yes, and is it benefiting our country? I think that is the bottom line, that American taxpayers, they want that question answered.
Yeah.
So when we look at these contracts, what are they doing? If it's in the defense space, we've got to be more nimble. We've got to watch over those dollars very carefully. I think every agency across federal government can stand to trim back the fat. We need to do this. We saw the mandate in this last election. People are tired of our money going to projects that simply don't benefit all the good for the American people.
Well,
We
speaking of
spend
not benefiting-
trillions of dollars.
Yep.